And oh, how are things to the people who are here? Right hand shot. Trying to think if I know that name. I think I know that name. Do you want me to call you right hand shot, or do you have a name that you would like me to call you? I'm pretty good at remembering. Sometimes. At least like after a few times of being reminded. Sometimes I'll be able to like make a weird connection. Right hand shot. I'm also a right hand shot. When I used to shoot. You're the only one talking. Well, you aren't now, but you're the only one who has talked. And good evening to you as well. Oh. Thanks, you're welcome. Todd Lajeunesse is here. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my friend? You cool? You smooth? I am not smooth. Look at this nonsense still. And it's, I don't look at myself often enough, obviously, because every time I come on this show, I'm like, oh, what? Look at this. I don't care enough. Finished up a couple projects. Hey, look at you. That's at least two more than I have finished up this year. I don't think I've finished a project this. Can't be true. I mean, other than like turning classes. Have I? Maybe not. Many underway. I might not have finished a project yet this year. God, we're almost halfway through. Oh, next time Pinnell checks in on the resolutions, I'm gonna be like, made a hummingbird? What? Like, out of wood? I have a flying thing. I think it's just a fly, but it's gonna annoy me. You made a hummingbird. Did you turn it? No. Like hand carved? That's cool. Anyway, do you consider CNC projects true woodworking projects? I consider anything made out of wood to be a woodworking project. If you're CNCing metal, then no. But anything made out of wood is a woodworking project. You build a shed, woodworking. Yeah, sure. I think there's enough gatekeeping in life that let's not worry about what's a woodworking project. Is it made out of wood? Woodworking. Did you work the wood? Did it used to be wood and now it's a thing? I mean, it was already a thing when it was wood. You know what I mean. But CNC is not for me. I would probably have fun with one if I had one. But it's not how I want to spend my time making things out of wood. But I'm not going to say that's not woodworking because you made it on a computer and then made the servos make the whatever. I think it's more about, I mean, you were doing woodworking here when you were building it in the computer. Then you just made the computer make it instead of Is it, like I said, it's not for me, but I'm not gonna be like, boo, that's not. It's a tool, like anything else. It's like, okay, unless you're making everything with a a stone that you picked up in the woods and then sharpened with another stone, and then used the sharp stone to cut the wood to make the thing. Like, table saw is a tool. CNC is a tool. If you download the plan and press enter, did the wood get worked? It's why. What does it matter? What does it matter if it's we call it woodworking or CNCing or still needs sanding and finishing? It still needed to be made. It still needed to be created by somebody. The file needed to be created. Did the person who made the file do the woodworking? And then you just hit print, so you didn't do woodworking, you just hit enter. I don't know. Who cares? Like, everybody can like what they like. Everybody can do this stuff how they want to do this stuff. It's 3D wood printing. It's not really printing. Made some more rosewood pickup rings today. For me? Humbucker ones? So if I go to IKEA and then paint it, no, that's painting. That's not woodworking. Unless, if you go to IKEA and you buy a dresser and you chop it in half because you need it to be shorter, or chop the legs off it so that it sits on the ground. Woodworking. I did woodworking. Nell would be proud of me. I was making a setup block for my Varigrind accessory for the Wolverine for my bowl gouges, and you got to drill an 1 3/4 inch hole in something as your setup block. I chopped 3 inches off the leg of the dead shop stool to use as my setup block. I drilled a 1 3/4 inch hole in the bottom of it. I was chopping the 3 inches off of that dead stool leg. Woodworking. No, for the Elvis guitar. Boo. Use sandpaper first and then it's woodworking. It's all woodworking. If you're working with wood, you're woodworking. And he's wanting 6 more guitars. So I will have a friend of mine CNC the tops for you. That's not woodworking, Paul. Or just glue a block 1 3/4 inch from the edge. Yeah, but I got to use part of my dead shop stool to make a setup block. And I like that feels good to me that the dead shop stool is going to get reused into things. It's perfectly good wood. I think this is beech. I don't know, actually. Maple, maybe? No. Beech, maybe. It's faster and more accurate than scroll sawing them. Yes. Yes. I have no problem with people using CNCs. I do Okay. I would never say it's not woodworking. I don't think you can call something handcrafted. Maybe I do. If you're cutting the parts out and then you still have to like either hand plane or sand, and it depends. Again, maybe depending on how much work you're doing versus how much work the machine's doing. I don't know. But that's just, we're splitting hairs. Like, do we call it handcrafted when my table saw did a whole lot of the work? Yes. Did Nadia find out about the stool? She had. Nobody's noticed yet. I haven't said anything. She hasn't said anything. Nobody's said anything. Maybe what I'll do is I'll finish my shop stool. And then I'll just like slickly bring this one back and it'll just reappear. But yeah, we've got enough stools. Nobody's going to notice. Hey, Brian's here. I like using my CNC for adding juice grooves to cutting boards. Sure. Sure. This guy right here was made on a CNC. My buddy Tyler makes these mallets on the CNC. I mean, obviously it doesn't glue it up and whatever, but like all of this was cut out of, I have a video on this mallet. Nope, not this mallet. The giveaway mallet, but it was the same model. I went down to Tyler's shop and I brought him some scrap offcuts from other projects, and we tossed it up on the CNC and he cut all the parts and about those 3D printed homes. Not woodworking, but cool. Not 3D printing wood. I've heard tell that there are ways to like 3D print using wood fibers and stuff. Woodworking? I guess. I don't see that it's a worthy debate. CNC is getting done by a buddy of mine on another YouTube channel that I support. Is it Tyler Peterson? Mike, I'm ready to have that conversation with you about choosing a wave when you get a chance. Lathe? Wave. Probably lathe. Happy to help. Did you get drill press yet? Wasn't drill press the next one on the list? I'd 3D print my own house, but it would take 2 weeks to make each brick. That would take a long time. Be a hell of a good YouTube video. In real time. Home built workshop. Okay, cool. Just missed the Laguna sale. It's true. It's only 10%. I mean, 10% if you're spending $1,000, sure. Yeah, that's what I got my Laguna at 10% off. I don't know what well, it's something that Brian and I are going to have to talk about. You got to start with budget. You got to have a dollar sign in mind. And then we can shop. I picked out the drill press I want. I'm going to be ordering it in the next couple of days. You're getting the Wen, I think, right? Isn't that the one that you said you wanted? It's basically like the American Mastercraft. It's fine. My drill press is basically the same thing. Drill press does not need to be fancy. It needs to go up and down by lever and spinny spin this way. Len's Handcrafted Wooden Signs. Hello. I know that name. You don't show up a lot, but welcome. Good to see you again. Was looking at the Bauer lathe they have at Harbor Freight for $5.99. $600 American dollars for a drill press? What? That's nonsense. I'm sure nice things are nice, but there's no way that I would. Oh, lathe. Never mind. It's like I thought we were still talking about drill press. I said lathe out loud. Bauer lathe, $600 American for a Bauer lathe. Isn't Bauer the Harbor Freight? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think for $700 American dollars, I think we can do better. I think we can do better than the Harbor Freight in-house brand. I think you'd probably be looking. We can probably talk about Grizzly. We can talk about Rikon probably at $700. We can talk about Grizzly. We can talk about what's the Rikon VSR now that they're doing? It's probably around $700 American. It's about $1,000 Canadian, so maybe a little more than $7 American, but that'd be a quality lathe in that range. The 70 something VSR. You have to add all the other items when you start talking about lathe. It's true, the lathe is not the only expense when it comes to getting into turning. Chucks and work holding and mandrels and things if you're getting into pens and kits and whatever, but chisel, like turning tools. Bought another bowl gouge this week. Bought a 3/8 one-way bowl gouge this week. I have bowl turning class tomorrow at the shop. And I was like, let's get another gouge. So I went down to the shop, my wood turning shop, and I got a couple of bowl blanks and a new one-way bowl gouge. Scrolling back, I paid $250 for my used Delta MIDI lathe. Yeah, you can find used stuff for sure. If we're up at the $600 or $700 American range, there's options, my friend. $700, you can find a nice used one on Marketplace. Yeah, probably a decent sized one too. And there's not a lot to a lathe. If it's spinning concentrically and everything lines up this way and it's got enough heft. I've had 3 lathes, haven't paid for one yet. Yeah, if you want a lathe, just hit up Paul. He'll just win one for you from his like local wood turning guild or woodworking guild or an online draw or something. People just give him lathes. Just hit him up for one. This episode brought to you by Viver. Viver chucks are the chuck you need when you want to chuck your chuck. I'll tell you what. Brian. I got a good deal on a chuck for you. So I'll sell you a chuck real cheap. Beer. I wouldn't do that to him. I would just. No. You also have to figure out the cost of all of the essentials. Yeah. And as deep down the rabbit hole as you want to go too, right? Like You can use lathe just to add drawer pulls to stuff. That's all I do on my lathe. I make drawer pulls and then I add them to cabinets. That's as far as I want to go down the rabbit hole. Sure. That's it. You're not even falling down the rabbit hole at that point. It's just I don't know if I'm going to be doing large projects. Yep, you won't until you find out whether or not it's something you love. I didn't know if I was going to like turning. Turns out I do. But at the time, I was just like, that looks neat. And if I didn't fall in love with it, then I would have just had a lathe for making drawer pulls. I probably would have gotten into pens or something, like, because they make money. But does that sound like an evil deal? Like I said, man, I would not do that to you. It's pretty expensive drawer pulls. They're better than you getting at Home Depot because they're made out of walnut. Lathe $300 in necessary stuff could be another 5 to 7. Yep. Oh, I'm just in chucks and jaws and stuff. I'm probably my Laguna lathe. It's about $1,000. I'm probably close to that in chucks and jaws. I'm definitely close. Yeah, chucks and jaws and turning tools, gouges and carbides and things. Yeah, another $1,000 probably. I'm overboard. I've got more than one-way chuck. Mandrels and then kits. You gotta be, if you want to be turning stuff that involve kits, you're spending money on those. It's fun. Got my lightly used Nova 2 with a stand and tools on Facebook Marketplace for $300. Yeah, there you go. Yep, Nova Comet is absolutely in that. You can get a new Nova Comet for probably less than that Bauer one that you were talking about. Got lucky and found used jaws and plates for cheap. Yeah. You buy chucks and jaws as you felt you needed them, right? You don't need them right away. I would buy a chuck probably right away because you do need to be able to hold your weight. You can use face plates and you can turn between centers and stuff like that, but I think if you're buying a lathe, you probably want to buy a chuck. You don't need all of the turning tools. You don't need the 1/2 inch, the 3/8, the 1/4 inch bowl gouges and the spindle gouges. One of those little sets of those 3-piece sets of carbide dealies will go you a long way. Lathe, chuck, and one of those, you could stop there and do just about everything you ever want to do. So what, $100 for the 3-piece set? Paul, what was their Rockler one? $100 for that 3-piece, $120 or something. A good quality chuck might run you another $200. So now you're at 3, and if you're paying 7, you're in for $1,000 with chuck, tools, and lathe. If you buy a $700 lathe, we're all saying $99, unless you get Paul to get his kid to buy it for you. Like, how do you tell when to rotate your carbide bits? When they're dull. Or you get a big chip in them. You can just kind of feel it. It's not cutting as good as it was, or it's got a big ding in it. Just flip it. I feel them and they seem sharp. Well, they're to your finger, they're going to be sharp, but are they sharp to the wood? Like, yeah, sharp to the wood is not the same as sharp to your finger. If it's not cutting the way you want it to, turn it. Tear out's a good sign, but tear out can also be you're not spinning fast enough, or you're taking too heavy a cut in relation to how fast you're spinning. There's other factors involved. Chuck and Josh, you could probably find on Marketplace. More than likely, they'll be in decent condition, right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I would want to buy new from a reputable manufacturer. That's holding the spinning piece of wood. I want to know for sure. Like, I want to have confidence in the fact that this is going to hold the spinning. 3,000 RPM spinning, like 3-pound piece of wood, 5-6 pound piece of wood, spinning at 3,000 RPM that I'm sure putting a sharp piece of metal into. I want to have confidence in that thing to be able to hold it, please, for me. I don't know if I would buy a used one, just because I don't know the history of it. And what, in American dollars, what is the one-way Talon worth these days with the standard like number 2 jaws? I think last time I bought one it was like 260 Canadian. My main issue is I got addicted to the beauty of olive wood. It's like, yeah, it's pretty though. Oh, 27 minutes in today, I remembered to go to the all chat or whatever it is and get face shield. Yep. I think mine was $30 or something. It's okay. Kind of like don't buy a used air compressor. Yeah. I mean, safety stuff. I know I wouldn't want to buy used stuff that if it fails, it could badly injure me. If you buy a used lathe and it stops working, that's not going to hurt you. If you buy a used chuck and it fails, you could get very badly hurt. I've had a piece of wood bounce off mine when it exploded. I have had a couple of chunks of wood bounce off my face shield. Nothing that I think would have caused serious damage to me had I not been wearing the face shield. Like, I haven't been hit with a bowl blank or anything, but like pretty good sized chunk of something. Bought my jet chucks from Home Depot 4-piece set for $350-ish. So 4 Canadian. What's a 4-piece set of chucks? I don't know what a 4-piece set of chucks is. Somebody tell me what the one-way Talon is these days. Go to leevalley.com. One-way Talon chuck with the standard number 2 jaws. That could be the last chuck you'll ever buy. Nothing like a 3-pound bowl hitting you in the head at high speed. Yeah. Right? $300 now? American? That really? That sounds wrong. That's like 300 and, I don't know, 350 Canadian dollars? Maybe. Everything's going up. I don't know. But like I said, it could be the last truck you'll ever buy. Kister in Yosemite. Mike? Are you also Mike? $254.99 at Rockler. Here you go. $255. The last truck you'll ever buy. Hashtag not sponsored. Yes, Mike, aka Yosemite Sam. See? That only took once for me to work through that, and it stuck. Same with Sean again late. RV Travels, what's his name? If he shows up, I'll be like, hey, it's Sean. Oh, I went golfing for the first time. Monday, I went golfing for the first time in like a year and a half. I had to shake some rust off for sure. I opened badly. I did not have a good start to my round, and my back is still reminding me that I went golfing on Monday. I ended strong. I went. I don't know if anybody cares. I don't care if you care. I opened 7-4-7-7. It's not great. For par 4, 3, 5, 4, I went 7-4-7-7. So triple bogey, double, triple. It's a good start. I did heat up though. I got better. I went 51 on the front. Not great. But I picked it up and went 11 strokes better on the back. I went 51-40 for a 91. Two birdies. A birdie on 9 and a birdie on 12. But yeah, I was like 15 over the first like 8 holes. And then the rest of the round I went like 4 over. So it was good. I got hot. You haven't been golfing in a long, it's been off. I'd call that a decent start. I did have a good time. Yeah, it was good. It was about 6 or 7 holes in. I was like, this might be my worst round ever. Not ever, but like in decades. But it picked it up. I went 4 over on the back 9. 3 over on the back 10. Because of my birdie on 9. Birdie on 9 and 12. Last time I played golf was May 18th, 1991. What'd you shoot? Do you remember what you shot? The morning I got married. That's funny. If I could reverse my golf and bowling scores, I'd be a pro at both of them. No, I'm pretty good at golf, I guess. I think I'm in the top. I mean, even 91. Like, most golfers aren't shooting low 90s on a like championship level golf course like Fairwinds. especially after opening with a 51 front. Oh, speaking of starting out rough and then coming back, how about my Oilers, eh? Huh? I think wasn't it last week that I was like, you never know. Maybe. There's still a... So you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah. Game 7, they went down 3-0 and then came back three in a row. I might... I think it's Monday night, the game. And I really want to have band practice with my friends. But I also kind of want to find some place to watch Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals with my Oilers in it. Because, oh, do I though? Because if they lose, I'm going to cry probably again. I'd watched them lose a Game 7 the last time they were in the Stanley Cup Finals. And it hurt, like in my soul. Wonder what the odds are of what the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup Final. 50-50? I don't know. Probably pretty good. I should have put money on them when they went down 3-0. I should have just dropped a 20 bill down because I probably would have got good odds. Bleed green, go Celtics. I did like professional basketball for a while when I played basketball back in my teenage years. I haven't watched it in a long time, really. I don't watch nearly as many sports in general as I used to. Well, I don't have TV anymore. I don't know. You guys still have cable? We're down to just like a couple of streaming services, and even those I don't really watch. Except Sunday nights. Family movie night or family TV night, I guess. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We had cable for a little bit when we first moved here. But not for very long. So we're probably cableless for 8 years since we went to just the streaming stuff. Just do streaming. Have HD antenna for local news. No cable in 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. I want to say about 8. And literally the only reason we still had cable, like the only reason we hooked up our cable when we moved to this house, was so that I could watch golf on the weekends and football. I watched golf and football on Saturday and Sunday. And Pam watched some shows. But it's like, we're paying a lot of money for me to maybe watch a couple of sports for 15 hours a month, maybe not. I do watch the final round of golf tournaments, so that's 5 hours probably that I would watch on Sundays. So 20 hours. The Oilers are favored but not by much. Oh, okay. Well, I bet I would have gotten good odds like a week ago. Beer. might do early smokerette tonight too. I don't know. The beers are going down well. Taught resin charcuterie board class again today. Teach bowl turning tomorrow. Taught paint night on Wednesday. Big teaching week this week at the shop. But then I don't teach again until, I don't think I teach again this month after. What are we drinking? We are drinking the Sleeman Original Lager because we are not yet at the point of the show where we do Mike's never tried this beer before. That's the next beer, I think. I got an interesting one, I think. I don't know anything about it, but I've never had it before. And it sounds foreign. This segment brought to you by cigarettes. Rocky Mountain salmon flavor cigarettes. No, just regular flavored. Shit is a Rocky Mountain salmon. That's stupid. Got sick of paying for a ton of crap channels like C-SPAN and ESPN. Yeah. Just so I could watch sci-fi. That was my big problem with cable too. Is like you had to get all of these channels for that one. Like I want to watch that one. Well, it comes in this package. It's like, but I just want that one. No. You gotta get. It's like you gotta pay the $40 for just to have cable, and then you gotta pay $20 to get this batch of channels just so you can have this one. Fuck off. You like dark beer? Yes, the answer is yes. I like dark beer. I like my favorite beers are sort of like rich and flavorful, medium-bodied beers. Like the Smithies last week. That shit was so good. I got another one for tonight just in case the Mike's never had this beer before. It's gross. I can follow it up with the Smithwicks. At the studio, what brand of magenta, cyan, and yellow paint do you use? Depends what I'm doing. If I'm teaching class, if I'm teaching acrylic painting, we're going to use the cheap crap big jug paint, but it's not even cheap crap. It's called Museum. Or we're moving over to Amsterdam. Decent company, but relatively inexpensive, but decent quality pigments. So Amsterdam probably is going to be what we're going to use for acrylic. When I teach oil painting, I use Lucas. We don't teach classes using Golden. It's too expensive. No Espanol. That's what my beer is going to be. I think it's going to be an Espanol. I think cable TV is officially dead and they did it to themselves. Yes, absolutely. No, that was the problem. It's like, oh, it's $40 for basic cable and you want one of those channels. And then it's like another $20 so you can get like the sports package because you want to watch like a hockey game once in a while. Or a football game, and then you got to pay an extra $30 for like the specialty sports channels so you can get the NFL Network and the Golf Channel. It's like, you know, personally prefer Liquitex, but it's not easy to find anymore. I've used Liquid. I don't know if I've ever used Liquitex paints. I've used Liquitex mediums. It's like gloss gels and stuff like that. I've used Liquitex. I don't think I've ever used Liquitex pigmented things. I always drank Newcastle until I found out it had food coloring. I like Newcastle, the brown ale, nice bottle. I didn't know it had food coloring, but I'm not gonna not drink something because it has food coloring. I put enough garbage in me that like food coloring is not gonna be a no way. That's not gonna be the hill I'm gonna die on. I ask because I can't see the point in buying a paint color from Home Depot every time I want a different color. What? Are we talking about house paint? Because we don't sell house paint. I want to be able to mix them myself. I'm a little confused about the application that we're talking about. We sell art supplies. We don't. House paint isn't our thing. I used to paint in oils, and when I was a kid, my teacher got me into Liquitex oils and acrylics. Oh, okay. Also inherited my dad's Grumbacher brushes. Nice. Winsor Newton makes some good paints. I like my Lucas oils. They're not stupid expensive, but relatively high quality product. Lukas, by the way, in case you're curious and don't know. I'm redoing our living room with pallet wood pieces cut into different lengths, running horizontally on one. Oh yeah, that's cool. I wanted to do one of those in the house. I wanted to do like an accent wall of like, not rustic, but like, I don't care about grain match and stuff, or maybe even species, like a cool sort of wooden on the wall. I don't remember if that was like wife said no, or if I just didn't want to do it badly enough. Added up my cable bill for the cost over 10 years. $15,000 to $25,000. $25,000 to watch like 2 channels, probably. Over 10 years. 250, dude. $2,500 a year? Yeah, we probably were there too. I painted my cornhole boards and wall art. They could potentially be exterior also, but Brian is maybe the best. He's absolutely one of the best painted project people that I know. But he's really good at like taping stuff off and getting nice crisp lines and stuff. Brian knows his painting stuff. I thought you meant Lucas Oils, like 10W30. Lukas, that's why I clarified. Mike talked me out of it. Did you talk me out of it? I don't remember. I was just like, yeah, that'd be cool if this wall was just like boards. Maybe I was gonna do it with all the garbage Douglas fir. Be like, let's just cover this wall with them. Wifey wants this, sacrificing so much guitar wood to do it. I don't believe you. Wife said no is my guess. I don't think. I think she. I don't know that that's the case. It's possible, but oh, you know what I think it was? I think it was like I want to do that to this wall, but we might be taking this wall down. Because at one point there was discussion about like busting down this wall to like make open concept between the kitchen and the living room, and we'd need to take this wall down in order to do that. And I'm like, I'm not going to put up a feature wall if we're going to end up taking this wall down, I think is what happened. Because it was going to be the wall between the living room and the kitchen, and we were very strongly considering just busting that open. And I'm a master house painter if you need advice. Well, man, I do not want to show you what's happening inside my house. The woman who rented this house before we came and rented it and then ended up buying it, the woman who rented it before us, worked at the paint store, like the Sherwin-Williams, Cloverdale or whatever the paint store is. And she would just like bring home like mist tints and just paint the walls. So like we have various earth tones in various places, but none of them are well done and none of them are the same. And so when we moved in, we had all these buckets of paint, but they were labeled with whatever she used that room for. And we didn't know what that was. So it's like I can't match the two browns together because there's various browns. And it was like, this is like Brian's room. It was written on it. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know what fucking room Brian was in? Yeah. And it's just, and poorly taped off and sometimes like wrapping around corners, but only kinda. And just, yeah, I wish I could just get house paint in primary colors. Well, you could. You just have to have them make those. Go to Home Depot and get like a primary magenta and a primary yellow and a primary blue. Maybe it'll be close enough to be able to mix and match and make your own. Did you repaint the inside? We've done some touch-ups. We haven't fully gotten around to everything because poor. But yeah, there have been some areas where it's like this needs remedying. So like the upstairs bathroom, and then where things were not taped well, we went and just like did a little touch-up bits and stuff like that with what we thought matched and stuff like that. So Len's Handcrafted Wood, is that you saying goodnight? Bye for now, my friend. Thanks for coming back. No, and we still have all like probably, how long have I been in this house? 8 years? Those cans of paint probably aren't any good anymore. Should probably throw those out. OnlyFans, Mike. You'll be able to afford all the stuff. Thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Are you going to sign up? Get crisp tape lines. You always go over the edge of the tape with the color underneath. Yeah, that was a cool tip that I got out of the cornhole board video, I think. I was going to ask you, though, what happens if you don't have the color that's underneath, or you don't know which of your jugs of paint? So, like, hypothetically, I don't know which brown is, because I've got different browns. Like, what happens if you don't have or know what the color is that you're going beside? What do you do then? Because I liked that tip, but in my head I was like, but I don't know what that blue is, like, because it was old, like the last person's house. I don't think I could see. Maybe you find something out about yourself. OnlyFans has a beard fetish section. It probably does. I don't know. I don't know how OnlyFans works. You could use a clear polyurethane, but just enough to fill in the tape edge and then wipe it. Well, like an actual polyurethane, like a wood finish polyurethane? That makes sense. Because basically it would be like a sealant that would just creep under the tape where the paint would normally go. Yeah. Yeah, like a Minwax wipe on poly would probably do the trick. Hmm. A latex clear coat of some kind. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like a shellac even, maybe? Give it a quick spray lacquer and then paint, and then it wouldn't go under. I think just lots of things probably. You're just filling that little micro gap under the edge of the tape with something to keep the paint that you're putting on top from going under that crack. So yeah, okay. Ideally, it would be whatever color paint is under there. This makes sense. Any sealant type thing would probably do it. But something that wouldn't also glue the tape down so that you could still. Huh. That's not making sense to you? What's not making sense about it, Todd? It makes total sense to me. When you put it down a. I don't have a roll. Yeah, I do. So when you put down a roll of tape, put down this piece of tape, I'm going to paint this edge right here. So I'm going to tape that off. That's oil, so it's not going to stick very well. But that edge is going to actually not be super held down. So your paint's going to want to go underneath that edge a little bit. So if you pre-paint that edge with either the color that's under it or something to seal that edge, when you paint beside it, it'll get a nice crisp line. It was probably poorly explained. Paint it first with the underneath color. Yes, exactly. Or the polyurethane or something just to seal that tape line. The poly trick is a good thing when you're painting the baseboards white. It wouldn't glue the tape down more than paint would. An actual product, I would use water-based poly like Varathane. First of all, Brian, don't use Varathane products. Varathane is garbage. In case you're new to the show, it's kind of a long-running joke that I have a beef with Varathane, the brand, but only because I've never used anything that they made that was any good. Beer. Oh, Mike's never had this beer before. All right. So, this week's Mike's never had this beer before. That's the segment song. Is called, where is it from, first of all? Cerveza Excepcional. What the shit? Brewed in Canada? In Chilliwack? Toronto? Longwy, Moncton, St. John's. Okay, so probably Molson is brewing this. What the hell? That is disappointing. I got it because it sounded foreign in Spanish. It's literally called Madri Excepcional El Alma de Madrid. Like, there's no way you would see this and go like, oh, they probably make that in Chilliwack. Oh, disappointing. The soul of Madrid is La Alma de Madrid is the soul of Madrid, and it's boo. That's, I mean, I want to call it false advertising, but I just made a bad assumption. You see this thing, Madri Excepcional Lame de Madrid? You're not going to think, well, that's definitely a Canadian beer. All right. No, I'm not excited. I was like, hey, let's try the Spanish beer. Maybe it was I thought maybe it was made in Madrid. No, it's like a fake Spanish beer made in Canada. It's got a guy on it, a cool logo. He looks like maybe he plays billiards. I don't know. I'm not excited for it anymore. I was hopeful that this was going to be cool, but now it doesn't matter because I'm like, okay, Madri Excepcional Lame de Madrid, 4.6% alcohol by volume, fake Spanish beer. Here we go. That is pretty gross. That is unpleasant, actually. That that's right up there amongst the worst $4 I've ever spent. That gives me Trash Panda vibes. You guys remember when I tried the Trash Panda? Madri Excepcional, my ass. That, ugh. And it builds on you like the Trash Panda did too. If it sucks, get it super cold and just down it. I don't know. I think it's just a bad. How much of it did you buy? Just one. Madri exceptionally bad. Good point. They should just add that exception. And it lingers in the back of your throat, and it tastes like you distilled a jock strap. The essence of jock strap is Hey, Kyla's here. How are you doing, my friend? It's Molson Coors. Yeah, I just figured when it listed all the places in Canada that it could be brewed. Chilliwack and all the other. It's not good. It sounds gross, and you take another. It is gross, but I paid $4. And sometimes, you get through the initial. This one's not really. This might be the first Mike tries a new beer that he doesn't finish. I don't think I might throw out 250 worth of beer. I don't like doing that. This is maybe this is up there in the Mike has the beer that tries a beer for the first time series. This is very high on the list of worst ones. Disappointing. Not only is it not anything de Madrid, it's absolutely not exceptional. And this guy probably kicks puppies. Don't buy this. Madri Exceptional. Don't buy this. It's gross. That's the commercial for that. And this guy probably kicks puppies. Like, ugh. I don't think I'm getting half of it in. I don't think. How do we know what a jock strap tastes like? Well, if you were an athlete ever in your life and wore a jock strap, you would know what it ends up smelling like. And then you can just sort of mentally transfer that into a flavor. I can't say I've ever tasted jockstrap, but I can mentally picture, based on the scent, what it might taste like. And let me tell you, if you want to know, Madri Exceptional has a lingering jockstrap. Nope. I gotta nope. I can't even fight past it. Like sometimes you like, you know what I mean? You go like, oh, that's unpleasant, but I'll work past that part. It just keeps it's like building up. It's like adding on to itself. And now that guy that guy kicks puppies and has other bad tendencies as well. Yeah. Where's my Smithwicks? Okay. Oh, but is this gonna? I'm gonna do a Sleeman in between because I don't want that garbage to taint. Speaking of jockstrap, I don't want that to taint the Smithwicks. So I'm gonna have a palate cleanser. Don't buy that. That's I don't even know why they're making that. Like, who likes that enough to sell enough of them to have you keep making it? Like, I can't, there's no redeeming qualities. Like, at least sometimes I'm like, yeah, but I don't really like IPAs. But I can understand why someone might like this. I don't understand why anyone would like this. There's no like, oh, it might be for you if you like such and such. There's nothing good about that. A high percentage of taste comes from the sense of smell. It's true. the guy at the store not give you hints? Like, are you sure about this one? Depends on the store and who's working and whether or not you just walk up and just put it down. Like, they maybe whoever's at the till doesn't even like beer. I don't know. Nobody said shit to me about the Madri Exceptional. They should stop carrying that. That's really bad. Like that's up there with like that's Trash Panda level bad. It's like you always went to the same place. No, I have a couple of different spots. I go to on Saturdays now. I've taken to going to a different shop because they have a wider selection of singles. So I've almost my regular shop. I've almost run out of the like Mike's never had this beer before because I think I've tried almost all of the ones that they have. So I've been going to a bigger one that has a wider variety. Dude at that store would never sell me that. They probably don't even have that. They're like, guy tried it and he was like, no way. And if they do have it, he would warn me probably. He's like, are you sure? I almost want to stand in front of that beer. I want to go spend a couple hours at that liquor store, just standing in front of that beer and telling people not to buy it. That's volunteer my time to keep people from buying that. That's no. That's I don't even want to look at it. It's just sitting there, and I like it. I even have my smokerette. That's don't buy that. I should have known as soon as I should. Honestly, I should have known as soon as I saw the places where it's brewed, and figured out that it was a Molson product. I should have just not opened it because I don't know that they make anything good. I think they bought Sleeman a while back, so they make at least one consumable thing, and all the entire Sleeman line of beer is good. It's it's fine. The entire line of Sleeman beer is pretty okay, but nothing else that Molson makes is good. I don't think I've ever had anything good that Coors makes either. You should try one of those 2 times tall import cans with the gold tabs and impossible to pronounce labels. Oh, the ones that you like, it's a symbol? They're like Japanese symbols. You can't even read them. Maybe next week. I think Mike chooses new beers like my ex-wife rented movies back in the day. I just go, I've never had these ones, but I don't want another IPA. So immediately I'm over here now. And it's like I choose beer. I choose new beer like your ex-wife chooses husbands. Oh, and that wasn't really sounded in my head. That sounded better than it was. Has he tried a Foster's yet? I have tried Foster's. I haven't had one for a long time, so it would be like I am having it for the first time. But I have had Foster's. Now Foster's is Australian for beer, like Molson is Canadian for beer. Like, let's not use Foster's. I hope that Foster's is not like representative of Australia's beer palate. You're Canadian, you should just drink that Molson Moose piss stuff. No. No, don't. It was the commercial. I know. But that's what I mean. Like, you can brand it however you want, but no one in Australia drinks Foster's. See, it's like, do people in Ireland drink Guinness? Or is it like purely export? It's like you get it in your head. It's like Irish beer. Oh, Guinness. Do they drink it there or do they just sell it to tourists? Aussies I've met don't care for it. It's not good. They say Texans should only drink Lone Star beer. It's nasty as hell. Honestly, I wish you guys could send me a beer. Like, I wish it was just easier for you guys to like send me a beer, because I would love to do a series of like, this is from my friend Todd Lajeunesse. I would do individual edited YouTube videos on like Mike tries a beer from the first time from a fan. I would absolutely do that series. I should do that series anyway. Mike tries a beer for the first time. I think people would watch me like cringing for a couple minutes after I try a beer. I mean, you guys do. They have Guinness, Kilkenny, and Smithwick's. All good beers. Moosehead Lager I've had. I've had Moosehead Lager. It was the first Moosehead product that I've tried, was the Moosehead Lager that I had at the CBC headquarters in Toronto at a journalism conference. Red Racer IPA. Did I have that? I think I might have had that one. No, that was Red Truck something. I'm not a big fan of IPAs. We know that. "4X Victorian Bitter" are the most popular. In Australia? My buddy Jax drinks Corona. So he obviously doesn't have very good tasting beer. So he's also enormous. Have you guys seen that guy? Like, my buddy Scott is a pretty big dude. I saw a picture of Scott actually meeting Jax, and Jax was like, beside Scott, I was like, damn. I found an Irish pub in King's Crossing that had Kilkenny. That's a good beer. I do enjoy a good Kilkenny. Kilkenny is like, it's really close to where I live in my palate. Like, it's rich and flavorful, but not heavy. Like, same as the Innocent Gun is a good representation of kind of where I like my preferred beer palette. is sort of like those medium malty, not a ton of hops, but flavorful. Corona. Somewhere in Mexico is an old man standing in a river peeing in a bottle, saying, "Americans want more beer." And and my boy Jax also. A beer isn't good if you're supposed to add a fruit to it. Supposed to is up, like, yes, but I don't think Jax does. I don't think Jax does it with lime. But when that's like a generally accepted thing to do, is to stuff a piece of fruit in it before you drink it. No, I don't mind Heineken. Heineken's okay for a light, crisp lager type beer. It's all right. I'm gonna finish this Sleeman Original Lager. Still can't wrap my head around why they changed that name. It used to be Sleeman Original Draft, and that's what I've called it for years. And just, I think it was live on this show that I realized that they don't call it that anymore. Now it's Sleeman Original Lager, because it was Sleeman Original Draft was the name of the beer. But I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna get a Smithwick's because I bought another one of those. Because that shit's delicious. Summertime, I like Blue Moon. In the heat of summer, yeah, light and crisp and refreshing. The Sleeman's fine. I had a good, I don't remember who made it, but I had a good raspberry beer one time that was light and crisp and refreshing, summery beer. I think it was somewhere in Victoria. Oh, I had it at Swans in Victoria, and I think they brewed it. I don't remember, but I was like, "Damn, this would be good after mowing the lawn." Linnenkugel. Bless you. God, I want to just throw that into the street. It's making me upset seeing it sitting there. I'm gonna put it somewhere else. Madry exceptionally bad. Whew. I can still feel it in the back of my throat. Don't buy that. Hey, Bailey Woodworks is here. They do summer shady lemon flavor and other tasty beers. I wish I could get my hands on the beers that Paul Founders. He's all about the Founders, and we don't get it. They do summer shady lemon flavor. Yeah. That's what she said. Oh, in the back of the throat. I can still taste it in the back of my throat. My favorite so far, ice cold Kokanee Gold in a bottle. Yes, ice cold Kokanee Gold. Probably, maybe the best Molson product, other than the Sleeman line. Kokanee Gold is better than it should be. Regular kokanee, like just no. Kokanee Gold, really cold, hot summer day, pretty okay. Founders is great beer. This breakfast stout isn't too bad. I want to try the Dirty Bastard. I really do. Because A, that's a rad name for a beer. And there's no B, really. That's a rad name for a beer. And it's my friend Paul's favorite, I think. And that makes me want to try it. When you guys come up, you got to smuggle me some. Fly to Washington State, rent a car, put some Founders Bastard in the trunk, and drive across. You would probably like Asahi Black if you can find it. All right. Asahi Black. Black. I'm never going to remember what that's in reference to. Found a new pen. Because that's what happens in my shop. Maple Burl from a long, long time ago. But I can still remember maple burley with that. I remember when I turned it, I had to like stabilize it with CA, and that was pre-Starbond, I think, as well. There were like bits that were clearly about to go, so I would like put a little CA in there. That's a slick pen. Gunmetal, maple burl. Found it. It was up in my tool cabinet. I was looking for my my Forstner bits. I was like, where did I put my Forstner bits? There were a few up in there. This flamey maple thing, dyed aquamarine. And then this one was a maple guy that I tried dyeing with, I think, Crystal Light. And then I think it's finished with lacquer. I found some more random pens in my shop. This is the sort of a figured maple dyed with Crystal Light. And then the aquamarine flamey maple one on copper. This one is my favorite though. This is my favorite of the new pens that I found. The maple burl. Doesn't want to focus. Wants to focus on my face. And who can blame it, really? There's also Arrogant Bastard, but that's Stone Brewing, not Founders. Oh, okay. And Backwoods Bastard. I want to try all the Bastard beers. Some more Aussie beers. Iron Jack, Great Northern, Tooheys New, Carlton Dry, Cooper's. I want to try all the beers. Once I get the Elvis guitar done, I'll finish the router playing and send you some of my last stabilized pieces. Sweet. No rush. Paul makes you guys, the rest of you, look really bad, by the way. He's constantly sending me stuff. You guys, the rest of you are just a bunch of freeloaders. Beer. Smithwick's. Smithwick's. We looked it up last week. I I think I want to keep calling it Smithwick's just to like over Canadianize it. The Smithwick's Red Ale Roos? No. Smithwick's Premium Red Ale. Fantastic beer. Probably my new favorite beer. Oh, that is delicious. My shop is small. I send stuff to several YouTube videos. So basically, we're getting your garbage. Thanks, Paul. You know what? If your garbage is better than... If your garbage is good, I'll take it. Put them up for bidding. We can outbid Mike. Yeah, you absolutely can, because my bid is $0. Eric, I've heard of Iron Man beers from watching my YouTube 4x4 shows with Sean Whale and Graham Cahill. Sweet. That was a good story. Natty is here. Uh-oh. Okay. Everybody. Just let's keep it between us. Okay? It'll be more fun. Hello, friend. Sent some Ambrosia maple back and sides and Bolivian rosewood fingerboard to one channel. He made an acoustic guitar out of it. I still want to make the all Sapili acoustic guitar. I need plans. Plans? Not maybe the best word for it. I need directions on how to make a pipe bending for sides. I think I get the concept. It's just a piece of like black pipe with a cap on it, and you put a torch, like a propane torch in one end. And then like some spritzes of water, and it like steam, you can steam bend around a pipe. I think I can watch it back, you know. Yeah, but you won't. When the ship pulled into Darwin, we got really messed up on Victorian beer. I know that Darwin is a city in Australia. I used to make / sell them. Oh, the pipe benders? Okay, but isn't it just like you go get a piece of black pipe from the hardware store and you pop a torch in it, and it does it have to have like a temperature gauge and stuff on it? Like, am I gonna, yeah, I'm gonna mess it up. It should probably have some kind of thermostat or something. Oh, yours are electric. That's probably more controllable. Because there's probably a point where it's gonna singe whatever you're doing, and yeah, I would mess that up. Good point, Paul. I probably shouldn't just stick a propane torch in a piece of black pipe and try to bend a guitar side around it. Probably shouldn't do that. It is. I have one left if you want it. Sure. Yeah, you do like a side pipe bender, acoustic guitar side pipe bender thing. Damn right. See, you guys? See how bad friends you are? I just mention a thing in passing, and Paul's like, here, have mine. And the rest of you assholes are like, Darwin is the capital city of the Northern Territory. I knew that because that's where Jax is from. He's in Perth. Well, he's outside Perth now, but he's from Darwin. So I know a little bit. He's clearing out junk in the shop. Oh, man. Sure would be nice if I had a Laguna 18BX bandsaw. Damn. That would be awesome if I had one of those. I sent you stuff once. You did! Including a check that I never cashed. My son could get you one with his Rockler discount, an 18BX. Yeah. Don't you have an extra one, though? No, you have an extra 1216 lathe. Because you tried to trade it to somebody and then they ended up giving it back to you. Don't you have an extra Laguna 1216? I'll take that. Hell, I'll pay you for that. And now shipping would just be unreasonable. Can't imagine what sending a 150-pound box of lathe from Texas to Campbell River would be. But depending on what you're asking for it, if it's cheaper than no, it'll end up being, put it in the, see, Todd knows, you put it in the trunk. When you guys come up and bring the Founders and this 1216, I will give you 700 Canadian dollars for it. You're keeping the 1216. What? Why? Don't you have an 18 whatever? 18. Oh yeah, 1836. You're selling the 1836 and keeping the 1216. That's interesting. Is it a space? Probably a space. Okay, so bring the 1836 when you come up. We'll put it in Crow's Nest, and I'll bring my 1216 back to my shop. That sounds like a good idea. 1836 at the Crow's Nest. Leave my 1216 back down here. I'd get rid of the granite thing. Yeah, space issue. Yeah. How many acres are you buying in Canada? I'm not buying any acres in Canada. Are you talking Paul? Paul's been shopping for a property. I don't know if he's looking for acreage. Well, are you looking for a swath of land? Because if you're looking for a swath of land on Vancouver Island, you're looking at a lot of money, my friend. Unless you start getting up north, like Port Hardy way, and you don't want to be there. Sayward. You find a chunk of property around the Sayward Valley for maybe not, I mean, more than it should be, but maybe reasonable compared to other things. 8 acres would be nice. 8 acres on Vancouver Island with a house on it that you could move into. That's $2 million. Probably. 3. More than one. Definitely more than $1 million. Even a garbage butt fuck like Cassis kind of way. Build and have have a house built. Yeah, but you need somewhere to live until that happens. I guess you bring an RV or something to live in while you're building your house. Oh, I could come help you build your house. That'd be fun. I've never built a house. No, not true. I did get a job on a construction site at one point and built part of a house. I got heat stroke and almost died. And I got fired. I was in Kamloops in the summer of maybe 2008. I don't know. Buddy got me a job on a construction crew doing houses. And in Kamloops in the middle of the summer, out under the sun, and I was not prepared. And yeah, I was puking my guts out after. It was the second day I was on site, to be fair. It didn't last long, but I helped build that house. Maybe you can let me take a couple minutes to have a drink once in a while, though, asshole. Like, a big lathe will fit in there. Yeah. On 8 acres? Yeah. Build an 8x10 room in the corner of my living room, and it's your office space. Oh, I've done like little bits of framing walls here and there, but not like house construction, like from the ground up. I did. Oh, that was one of the cool things that I did get to do when I was on that crew. It was like a shotgun shell thing that you go down into the foundation and set anchors for the framing. It goes up. I don't remember what it was called. But you literally like loaded up a shotgun shell and put it on the concrete and pow! And it like dropped an anchor that you could put things into. Hilti? Why am I thinking Mikey B, you were at a construction yard type place that sells stuff for framers. What's that thing called with the shotgun shell, literally gunpowder shotgun shell that you put in and you load in and it like drives down into concrete? Ramset? Eric says, it sounds familiar. It's called a bullet anchor. Probably Hilti style. I think it's a 22 shell. No, this bad boy was absolutely a shotgun shell. I loaded it and everything. Red plastic casing, shotgun shell. Ramset is it's a brand of that. Okay. That thing was loud ass and kind of scary. Because like obviously at the time I had no history with tools, or well, a little bit from my childhood of like hand tools and stuff. Like, and the biggest gun that I'd ever fired was a 22 out on the prairies hunting gophers in farmers' fields. Pow! Down into the... Why travel? That's my boy Sean. We were talking about you earlier about how like sometimes I remember people's names because I make weird connections in my head. Tool is called a bullet anchor driver. Okay. So I guess the word Hilti maybe is a brand of that. Is that where I'm making that connection? Because some reason that's what came to mind. It was like, grab the Hilti and just attach this foundation to the, or we'll attach this wall to the foundation. The one you hit with a rubber hammer to activate the shell. I don't remember if that's how. Maybe. It was a long time ago. But I remember like loading a shotgun shell into the thing and like it being stupid loud to drive like an anchor thing into the concrete. Why Travel is in Utah now. I don't know too much about Utah. Mormons, I think. Karl Malone. Yeah, that's about it. LDS, I think, is based in Utah, aren't they? Let's not, in case you guys have an opinion on things, let's just ignore that. That's not what this show's about. I used it for putting frames in when I did French doors. I also used it to attach hardy board siding to your house. The shotgun shell things. Land Speed Run. That's right. They got the big the salt flats, the salt flats where they do land speed records and stuff. Not here for that. You're not here for the land speed records? Or you're not here for the Mormons? It's the first time my wife walked in and you weren't doing something goofy. I'm talking about... Really? I'm not doing anything goofy. I'm talking about how Utah is like really only good for Karl Malone and the Church of Latter-day Saints. On the way to Montana, you're going the wrong way. Utah's down there. Montana's over there. You took a left, my friend. Hey, Smoke. Montana's pretty. I have a quick urination beside my house. All right, I'm back. From Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. Hold on. Arizona. Right, Arizona goes like that. Why am I messing up my Southwest? It's California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Texas down here, just down and to the right. It's got Louisiana, has that stupid little thing that comes up over the top of Texas, right? I know, I got my geography messed up. Better not be the only one who gets my dental floss moving to Montana reference. What? Be a dental floss farmer. I do not know that reference, but I approve. Dental floss farmer. Last time you were messing around with the trash can guitar, she looked at the TV, looked at me judgingly, and then walked out. The dumpster guitar is fantastic. You tell wife. You close to Camper, only about 8 to 9 hours away. In Utah? Yeah, maybe. Forgot you have guns, so no Canada. Well, you have lots of guns in Canada. And people from the States bring them here all the time to go shooting bears and stuff. You gotta fill out some forms and stuff, I assume, but like... Smithwick's Red Ale. Yep. They don't like the guns I have. Yeah. We all make our decisions. America doesn't like the record I have. So why don't you have a nice beer glass? For a long time, I had nice beer glasses. Just not. I moved past beer glasses. No, I didn't move past beer glasses. I just kind of like. I probably still have a couple up in the kitchen, but they're not here in the shop. So. Yeah, I did have nice beer. Well, I probably, like I said, I probably still do. Just like, that's fine. It's got a hole in it that the beer comes out. I do like how sometimes, as with wine, your glass can accentuate the beer that you're drinking. I just don't care that much. Beer commercial yet? Yes, there was absolutely a beer commercial. There was. It was I don't think I'm getting a sponsorship from Molson, it turns out. Go watch it back. You're going to have to watch the replay. I thought I was buying a Spanish beer, and it turned out I was buying a distilled jockstrap from Molson. Wasn't good. Damn it. Okay, this guy's gotta get out of here. I gotta open the door back up and hope that he finds his way out. I don't want him. Come on, guy. This guy I absolutely do not want. No. Under the garage door and then out. Got like a hornet guy. I don't want him in here. I'll leave that open for a minute. And then as soon as he leaves, I'm going to shut the door because I don't want him in here. You should be making your beer reviews into separate videos with no intro. Yeah, I should. You're right. I've thought about like clipping those out. So like TikTok would be a great place for me to be like, oh God, yeah. Did he go? Or is he hiding? I can't tell. I don't hear him anymore, but he might be like up under the fixture of the light. We'll see. Maybe he left. Maybe he left. I don't. Bees I like. Wasps, or like hornets. Nope. I don't hear him. Okay. Snapchat might be a good place for you. Ugh. I need to be more places. I can't even deal with the places I am already. Tyler Peterson started a Discord I was like, I'm never going. Like it's too many already. I basically cut out Facebook altogether. Like once in a while, I'll put something on Facebook. Instagram sometimes. Reddit, not really. It's YouTube or bust, I guess. Just don't have enough time for all of the platforms because it disappears after some time. Yeah, see, that's why I never really got the concept of Snapchat, because like, why would I want to say something that's just gonna go away? Like, doesn't it kind of the opposite of the purpose of social media to have stuff disappear? Like, it seems counterintuitive to me. Like, if you want to say stuff or do stuff that disappears, don't say that and do that stuff. Like, I guess, I don't know. Like, if you're not willing to have something be permanent, maybe there's a reason. I don't. You could do YouTube shorts. Yes, I could, and I'm planning on it. But it's an editing thing. Because vertical. And yeah, I morally and in my soul kind of I disagree with vertical video. So that's part of my issue with some of the social medias. Say TikTok, same thing. It's like I just I can't vertical video. It's just like it hurts me a little bit. So I gotta get over it and be on the socials and whatever. But I need to do the editing to make things vertical video, and it's gross. It's gross. Vertical video is fucking gross. Seems there's something about cutting wood that attracts bees. Whenever, yeah, bees I don't mind. Bees are cool. Wasps, hornets, nope. Get out. You didn't get the joke that I want you to disappear. I didn't, but also because you were too subtle, and also shut up. Maybe it wasn't good. It's like obviously it was too subtle and not funny. Idiot. And I mean, realistically, if you want me to disappear, all you have to do is click the back button on your phone or whatever you're watching this on, and I disappear. You're making the decision to be here. Nobody's paying you. You are here of your own free will. Been driving for 11 hours, so who knows? You've been driving 11 hours and you're only in Utah? Dude. Like, drive better. That's not far enough to go. Now we're going to get into another fight about how big the United States are and each individual state. Like how we had the big fight about how New York State is not that big. You guys should be able to get across it in a couple hours. No way you should only be in Utah if you've been driving for 11 hours. Unless you're stopping at every roadside diner to try the hash browns. With Mike, you pretty much have to smack him in the face for him to get it. No, it just has to be a better joke. Like Pinnell has sometimes some subtle jokes, but they're good. Right? Like that's the difference. 533 miles today. In 11 hours? So you're not even going 50 miles. You're not even averaging 50 miles an hour. Like you're in Utah, where they go the fastest in the world. Would that be a defense though? Like if you got caught speeding, you'd be like, "What? Isn't this the place where you're supposed to go the fastest?" Probably not. Have to get fuel too. Yeah, okay. I would not have pictured Utah being 500, maybe from the far side of Arizona to the. You guys' states are just little. See, like in my head, I'm like, it should not take you that long to go across the little state. You guys are just little. All your states are just. Like Australia, those motherfuckers have big. Are you guys states or provinces, Eric? But there's like Australia, the continent, has like 5. New York from east to west is almost 5 hours at the widest. No, it isn't. It's like 250. Drive 277 miles in 5 hours, but I'm old and I have to stop a lot to get out and move. Yeah. And I probably would too, because I'd get out and because I don't smoke in my vehicle. So I stop once in a while and get out and have a smoke and a stretch. And I stop at Martha's Diner to have the hash browns. I just don't picture you guys' states being that big. 277 miles, that's like this big on a map. And fully loaded with water and fuel for a generator. You're just making excuses now. Are you staying at the KOA campgrounds? I remember when I was a kid and we'd go down to the States, we would stay at the KOA campgrounds. Those were interesting places. But I was a kid, so I didn't know, like, all I knew is that we were camping. But it wasn't really camping. I don't know why I did that. It was cool. Is that even still a thing? Are KOA campgrounds like they're basically like little mini? We didn't have an RV, but it seemed like there were a lot of like motorhomes and stuff like that, like tent trailers and stuff. But they had like shower facilities and it's my house, just boondocks on the side of the road. Yeah, you just pull over and sleep whenever you want. Roughly 326 miles from Canaan, New York to Buffalo. Yeah, and that should take you like 2.5 hours. It's like that far. Not as big as the KOAs when I was a kid. Those used to be the CCC camps. I don't know what that is, but I just remembered. I don't even know what KOA stands for. I just remember like we would go down because I grew up in Saskatchewan, so we'd go down through Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming area once in a while. The KOA camp. We'd be looking for the KOA campground. We'd be driving along in our minivan and looking for the KOA campground to like set up tents and whatever. I don't remember too much more other than that. That we were like, oh, where's the KOA? Wife and I drove straight through about a month ago from Dallas to Fort Wayne. 19 hours from Dallas to Fort Wayne. I don't know where Fort Wayne is. Is that in like Arkansas? I'm 3/4 kidding. I camp in state campgrounds. 20 something a night. Yeah. I like camping in the free per night. We got lots of I live in the most beautiful place in the world. So like we can drive up and go off on back roads and go down to the side of a lake and just like pitch a tent and camp. Indiana. Why would you Fort Wayne, Indiana? Because he had important business. He was trying to sell Cedar Telecasters to a guy in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Okay? There's a guitar dealer in Fort Wayne, Indiana, who was interested in Cedar Telecasters. KOA stands for Kampgrounds of America. Is that for fucking real? Like, is that what it actually stands for, or are you messing with me? Because that bothers me a little bit more than it should, probably. That can't be. You're messing with me. There's no way that KOA stands for Kampgrounds of America. Mother-in-law lives there. There you go. See, he was going to visit his mother-in-law. It wasn't for Cedar guitars. Yes, KOA. It's short for Kampgrounds of America. So they had to sick their own fucking brand name? They intentionally misspelled it? That makes me want to punch the founder of Kampgrounds of America right in the nose. And I'm not a violent person. That, like, I hope that the founder of Kampgrounds of America, I hope his grandson steps on a tack tomorrow. Like, just a little thumbtack in his living room. Like, it fell off the wall and he couldn't find it. I hope he steps on it tomorrow. It bothers me an unreasonable amount. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's something I should examine about myself. But why is that so bothersome to you? But I mean, Crazy Glue does that to me too. I just don't see what. Okay, I'm gonna try to deal with that now. Thanks very much. Thanks for putting me in this frame of mind. They intentionally named themselves Kampground of America with the wrong. You know what they say? The N in Nebraska stands for knowledge. Todd, I thought we were friends. Just Googled why it's KOA. Okay, good. There better be a damn good answer to this. They weren't allowed to register the word campground as part of the name. Dave and Carlo replaced the C with the K. And Kampgrounds of America. They couldn't file a business license with the word campground in it? Or they couldn't trademark it. Because that seems weird to me that you wouldn't be able to, like, register a business name with the word campground in it. But hey. Okay, so I guess it's still stupid and dumb. However it needed to happen, it's still dumb. Whether it was them or the authorities or the government or the trademark office or whoever, it was still stupid and dumb, and one of them needs to be smacked in the face. But I just don't know who it is anymore who needs to get smacked. It really bothers me, though, that that's what the Campground of America, the KOA, Campground of America. If they had, it would be COA. So you may have had a COA on a COA. No, because they could have shortened it to like just why do you need to shorten everything? It's Campgrounds of America. That's our company, Campgrounds of America. Not everything has to be a fucking acronym. Okay, I'm going to try to move past this. MWTNS. Yeah, but I'm never going to call it that. The MWTNS is not a... I wouldn't want it to catch on, first of all. But the only reason I call it that is because I don't want to like write it all out. But I would never expect anybody to call my business MWTNS. It's also not the name of my business. MWTNS is a division of my business. I work with an IT company called Zix Peripherals. You should stop working with that business. Couldn't use a word like campground at a trademark. It's like a generic word. Just long before ZZYZX. ZZYZX. I think it's pronounced, Tim, I think it's pronounced ZZZX. Okay? Like, obviously, when you're naming your company, you should think about the pronunciation. And obviously, they thought ZZZX was the right call. ZZZX. Hey, you know who we should go to for that? We should definitely go to ZZX. Just rolls off the tongue, right? If there's somebody that I want to go to for IT advice, it's ZZX. I sound like I'm having a grand mal seizure, like while I'm trying to pronounce the name of a business, like ZZX. Rush taught me all I need to know about the letter Z. Ayo! You can pronounce things how you want to, even if it's wrong. CNC is still woodworking. We're not going to fight. We're here to build community and support each other. What are you guys making these days? Anybody making anything? Sean is on the highway going from Arizona to Montana. So he's probably not making anything. If you're going to give ZZX a hard time, then you should at least pronounce obviously correctly. I will burn your shed to the ground. crap. Zizix is a town in California. Fuck, it probably is. Like, yeah, okay. Elvis guitar, Cedar Strat. Mikey B, you working on? Have you made my little toy truck yet? Out of all the spare parts, with my Nissan Titan body that we're gonna make out of. What were we gonna make it out of? You said you were gonna vacuum form some kind of clear. I don't remember. Made an above ground sprinkler system. Hey, that's good work. I like that. I made an above ground. So a hose. You threw the hose out onto the lawn. I like your way of saying it better. Here. Throw me $200 and I'll build you a free truck. I think maybe you might be misunderstanding the definition of free. $200? Can I do $200 for an RC truck? No. There's too many other things that I need to spend hundreds of dollars on. Oh, hey, everybody. Financial tip. I have figured out a fantastic way to save money. You ready? There's an ad. Free advice. Great way to save money. You guys, I want you get your pens ready to take notes, okay? Because this is an important tip that you're going to want to remember. So, if you want to save money year over year over year, great way to do it is forget to renew your truck insurance. And then all of that length of time that you're not insured because you haven't renewed your truck insurance, you're not paying your insurance premiums. So that's just money in the bank. Like when you get the renewal notice, just ignore it and then forget about it. And then a couple months later, when you remember that you're uninsured, go renew your insurance. And you basically just saved yourself 2 months worth of insurance premiums every year. There you go. So I did it last year. My insurance comes up for renewal. Last year it came up for renewal at the beginning of April. And I just drove around without insurance until June. Went and got my insurance. That's 2 months. I saved hundreds of dollars. And my insurance this year came up in June. It's now like the 22nd. I've got 22 days of free. It's not good advice. Just saying. If you want to save some money, don't buy truck insurance. That's What are we talking about? Don't buy it. Like it's like the little poor kid in the neighborhood. Paul sent me this. Mikey B made me. Everyone else is bad for not giving me stuff. Yeah, just. Ooh, shucks. It's all good. We're all on an adventure through the world. This is a slick pen. I like this one. I'm going to keep this one. I'm actually in it. Oh, right. I forgot. An insurance adjuster. I'm sorry. I wasn't actually taking food off of your table because you're not my insurance adjuster. Also in Canada, we have these monopolies, but denied when you crash. Oh no, yeah, I absolutely should have mentioned that. Like, don't get in an accident. I didn't think that I needed to say that though. Like, drive really good, don't get in an accident, and don't get pulled over, and you save some money. I do hope that nobody takes this show seriously. Like, why would you take financial advice from this guy who is constantly complaining about not having any money and like thanking people for giving him $1? Like, I don't pay for truck insurance. It's true because you have like an Austin Mini or something. Don't you? Like, no, you got like a Fiat. And a motorcycle. At least one motorcycle that is a lemon. You got a garbage motorcycle and a Fiat, I think. Because I don't own a truck. I got it. I'm the one that comes after the accident. Well, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Just don't get in an accident, and then you don't have any problems from not having insurance. As long as you also don't speed or break other rules of the road to get pulled over. It's good advice, okay? Stop buying vehicle insurance and just don't get in trouble. Wife has an Alfa Romeo. Hey, sweet. 2 Fiats and 2 Harleys, and they're both probably garbage. 2023 and a 1953 that I am currently rebuilding. Oh, okay. I'm joking about the Harleys, but only kind of though, because there was a time where you were constantly complaining about your brand new Harley Davidson that had to keep getting fixed. I also only do buildings. Oh, hey, I'm going to ask. This is a terrible place to ask things. Does anybody know electrical? I guess code is different in different places. But okay, so I'm going to smoke again and I'm going to ask this question. Where you are, is it? I'll do the explanation first. So when I do the shop renovation, I'm probably gonna be switching things around, and I don't want the electrical panel for the house to be part of my background on my show and stuff. I don't think you can cover that. Can you put like a faux cabinet in front of an electrical panel so that it looks not like an electrical panel? Like, I just want to make like a little frame with a door on it out of wood, so that it looks better than it would as a background. Because otherwise, I don't want to do the show in that direction, because that would look shit to have like an electrical panel. But if I could make like a faux frame with a door, but I think I seem to think for some reason that that's like you can't cover your electrical panel access with anything as like a rule. Wouldn't try that with your house either. Oh, not buying insurance and then just hoping that the earthquake doesn't happen? I have a painting hanging over mine. I get that's an option, as long as it, maybe if it's not a permanent thing attached and covering it. But then if a fire happens, are they going to be like, "Oh, there was a thing hanging"? I have an insurance adjuster, Sean. If my house starts on fire and I have something covering my electrical panel access, am I now not insured? I have an insurance adjuster. Electrical panels. The code where I live is thou shalt not cover the electrical panel door so it's not immediately recognizable and easy to reach and open. So it has to look like an electrical panel? Because that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid having a thing that looks like an electrical panel. Sean? How can I remain insured but still make my electrical panel for my house not look like an electrical panel? I know it's going to be different everywhere, but like, give me your thoughts. The idea is that a fireman should be able to find the panel door to switch everything off quickly. Okay. The glowing neon sign above a faux cabinet, a nice faux cabinet that covers it, but a giant glowing neon sign with an arrow that says electrical panel. Kind of defeats the purpose. I don't know. That sucks. I guess I get it though. Like, think on this, because that's like not a thing I want in the background of my videos. Is like a flat garbage looking electrical panel. I have a whole home surge protector that's visible below the painting that would indicate where the panel is. My solar, I have the electrical panel in the garage and a visible shutoff switch outside my house. Oh, so maybe that's the workaround? Is if you make the electrical to the house accessible somewhere else and obvious. Like maybe just like a shutoff button, like a Staples. Like, and I could run that to somewhere else from the panel. Ooh. I'll look into it. I just don't like if I switch the whole shop around and then I start my show facing the other direction, I've got a big electrical panel in the middle of the wall. I don't want that. If it burned up, I didn't see it. Okay. But is that because you're cool? And some guys are going to be like, nope, not insured. Nobody's going to look at your electrical panel unless you make it a thing. Right. Okay. That's fair. And if my house burns down, they're not going to know that there was like a faux cabinet in front of the electrical panel. Just came on to tell you got 2 more registrations for tomorrow about 20 minutes ago. What? We need to cut those off. Okay, I like. Damn it. I do need to prepare things. We need to have some kind of like cutoff for registrations for stuff. I'll make it work. I have enough things. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't think that should be allowed. I think we should. Is there a way in the system where we can cut off registrations like 48 hours or something before? Because we're actually quite lucky that I am prepared enough for extra. Do my own wiring. Not an electrician, but I have an electrician friend who approves it and files paperwork. Hey, sweet. Does it say what color it has to be? Maybe just paint it to look like a cupboard? I just don't. It's just super obvious. There is a way, but most teachers don't mind. So if that's something, yeah, I'll let you know. It's fine. This time it's okay. But it could have been very not okay. But a couple days ago, I finished the prep for the 2 people that were coming in. I over prepped for the 2, so it's fine. It's annoying. Who are they? Are they old like students that have taken the intro? Because that's gonna suck if they think that they're intermediate and I don't know what level they're at. As if they've taken the level 1 and now they're taking the intermediate, at least I know what they know. Because I already have one guy in tomorrow's class that hasn't taken the intro class, but I know that he has a lathe and I know that his struggles with it, so we'll be okay. But there was one lady that took the intermediate class one time and she was like, oh no, I have a lathe, so I decided to take the intermediate one. Should not have taken the intermediate one, lady. Oh, I gotta go urinate again. I did fully charge my phone tonight before the show, so we can go for a while. Now I have 4 instead of 2 for tomorrow. Well, hey, I just made $200, so that's cool. Or you could be prepared and know this would happen. It's true. If I always plan for it to be 4, then I'm ready. And I guess I did. I over prepared for 2. So yeah. That's fine. It's fine. But you're right. I should absolutely just be prepared for it to be 4 every time, and then it doesn't matter. Thanks, whoever. Sean. Shawnigan Lake Sean. Ooh, why don't you just be ready for 4? Why don't you drive faster? Jeff H is the student. Jeff. I thought it was 2, but it was because you get 2 inboxes, right? Okay, so I'm at 3. So I only made an extra $100. But okay. So I have 3 students tomorrow. That's better than 4. Thank you for letting me know, though. I probably would see that email after this. No, I wouldn't, because you read it and then I don't see that I have a new email. Good news, you got a townhouse to move into in August. Yes. Okay, so where are you moving, Sean? You're going to Victoria somewhere, but Victoria, are you going to actual Victoria? Or are you going to Saanich? Are you going to Colwood? Are you going to Langford? Are you going to Brentwood Bay? Hey, that's a cool little community. Did you hear Mount St. Helens is building up to pressure again? Oh, hey-oh. Near Bouchard. The Bouchard Gardens. You'll go one time. It's rad. But it's not a repeat. You go and you see it, and it's cool. But it's not like, oh, we gotta go back again, but it's cool. Sean McGill, do you golf? Lots of good golf courses down in Victoria. We were talking about golf earlier because I went golfing on Monday. Um, my buddy Marv, I was telling my buddy Marv that I went golfing on Monday. He was like, "Oh, like how'd you do?" And I told him, and he's like, "Holy damn, you're good." Yeah, I'm okay. But what he said to me, he's like, "Yeah, he said, where did you go?" So I told him. He was like, "Oh, that looks nice, but so does everything else on Vancouver Island." I'm like, yeah, we have nice golf courses. Even the shit golf courses on Vancouver Island are pretty nice. I do have golf clubs, but I'm terrible. It's a hard game. People who have never done it don't understand how difficult this fucking thing is to do. Because the people they see doing it make it look really easy. Have you sold all of the things that you're trying to sell? August is not that far away, my friend. Are you doing like big yard sale situation? Are you selling my boy Seth your 3D printer? What do you do, Sean? You said, yeah, I think at one point you said like the university is helping you move. I don't know. You don't have to say it out loud if that's not a thing that you're comfortable talking about. But at one point, we just assumed that you worked for CSIS, but I don't think that's true. Most stuff has been purged, sold, or handed off. Your wife will be in the library department at UVic. Oh, sweet. That's a nice campus. You can. They have lots of bunnies. That's a pretty place too. University of Victoria is a very very attractive university. Work for a cybersecurity company based out here. Oh, so you can go remote and just go wherever wife works. That's cool. So Sean McGill is coming to my little island. He's going to be about an hour and a half away. In a townhouse in Brentwood Bay. That's cool. Right on, man. Congratulations. That's good. It's a significant upgrade from Ottawa. I'm not going to lie. Nadia knows if she's still here. She also moved here from Ottawa. Yeah. Good work, my friend. Yeah, but rent is crazy. Yeah, we're not cheap. The quality of life thing costs more money for sure. Did Kermit Doll approve your move? Kermit has no say on what happens in Victoria. Shouldn't have any say what happens here either, but would cost the same to rent as to buy. Are you selling a place in Ottawa? And then you'll have that money to put towards? You're gonna wait for our place to sell clothes before, yeah. Yeah. Look into like Duncan. I mean, if wife is willing to do a little bit of a commute down the highway, Duncan is a pretty popular place for people who work in Victoria to just like zig down the highway for a pretty good savings on real estate. Even Ladysmith, you're maybe 40 minutes, less than that probably from Ladysmith. She's pretty dead set on staying on the east side of Colwood. Okay, I get that. You look at Machosen is probably, I mean, that's the west side of Colwood, but it's something to look at. I don't want wife wants what wife wants. Sanishton, Brentwood Bay, etc. is where you're looking. Yeah, I get it. Lee Valley in Colwood. That's pretty cool. Sometimes I drive 2.5 hours to go to Colwood because that's where Lee Valley is, and I like it. It's drove down to Colwood to Lee Valley to get my Rikon 10326. A, because I bought it, but it was also it's a fun trip. Up and down the island is a fun drive. You come up and visit anytime you like, my friend. Packing my lathe bandsaw and tools up. Except the 3D printer that you refused to sell to my friend Seth. No, that's cool. So, did she transfer universities? These are private conversations that we don't need to have in public. But like, did Carleton transfer her to UVic, or is that like, how did that? Doesn't matter. Never mind. That's awesome. I am happy for you. You are moving to a better situation. If Even if it's a more expensive situation, hopefully she's being compensated well from UVic. They are not poor. It's They have money. So yeah, that's rad. Congratulations to Sean McGill for getting out of Ontario and coming to Vancouver Island. It's a great place to be. Compensation makes sense for us to do this so she can be near her family again, right? Because they're in the Comox Valley, right? They're covering 3/4 of the moving costs. Well, just pack up the 3D printers and stuff then too. Damn, 3/4 of the moving costs. That's you don't get a better deal than that unless you work for a bank. My buddy, I have a buddy that works for a bank, and he got fully paid to move, and they sent movers and stuff to like pack his condo and move him to his new location and the whole bit. But Comox and Vic Proper is weird. And downtown Vic is weird, but Right on, man. Welcome. Welcome to my island. Bring your golf clubs. We'll go golfing. You come up and visit, and we'll make something in the shop. If there's room when you happen to come up, because this place can get a little bit unwieldy. That's awesome, my friend. August is not that far away. Are you stoked? Like, I would. That's a big life change. Are you like, damn right, let's go? Like, or are you like, I don't know, because there's always got to be a little bit of. How long have you been in Ottawa? That's a big life shift. At the minimum, we'll be coming to the Crow's Nest to check it out while we're there for a couple weeks for what was our vacation. Oh, sweet. Yeah, come take a paint night. And then you pop up once in a while to go hit a round of golf. I don't care if you suck. We'll go have a good time on the golf course for a little bit. If it's something you enjoy doing. If you don't like it because you suck, then let's not. But if it's something you like doing even though you suck, I'm happy to come with you. Been here my entire life, so it'll be weird. Yeah. Yeah, we don't get super cold, we don't get super snowy. It's way better. Yeah. Awesome, my friend. I'm happy for you. Yay! I like positivity. It'll be weird, but it'll be good. Leaving the snowmobile behind. Yeah, might as well. At least the motorcycles will be more used. Yeah, year round. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Some years that you won't be able to ride them. 3 weeks at the outside that you won't be able to ride your motorcycle. Snowmobiling here has been terrible anyway. The past winter we got 1 day. We have a snowmobile culture here, but it's like mountain riding, right? Like it's up in the high altitude type things where they maybe die in an avalanche type snowmobiling. Have a great week. Gonna hit the hay. All right, later, Paul. Thanks for coming by. If you like RC trucks, though, my boy Mikey B can set you up with some friends. Oh, anyway, what else should we talk about? I had a couple of them giving them away to the kids next door. No, you're supposed to be donating them to my friend Mikey B, who is trying to make me a free RC truck with spare parts and stuff. It's fine. we don't have the one downfall between Ottawa and Vancouver Island is we don't have Hull like right next door, which by my understanding is pretty rad to just be able to pop over to Hull. But we make up for it. I cannot believe how bad that beer was. I'm going to clip that out and send it to them. Like, this is disgrace. You know, it's not as cool as you might think once you're in your 40s and late teens, sure. Okay, yeah. I guess that's where my head was. Is like my understanding was that it was super cool to be in Ottawa. Yeah, you're right. It's like a late teen, early 20. The French girls just across the bridge and take a cab to the bars because they were open an hour later. That, yeah. In your 40s, probably not. You're right. They probably have better poutines. Yeah, maybe not. Damn, now I really want a good poutine. Tomorrow night, maybe I'll make. No, Monday night. Oh, Monday night band practice, Stanley Cup Finals, and yeah. I don't know what to do about Monday night. I missed a few. We've been off band practice for a little bit, and so I was really stoked for band practice this week on Monday night. But now it's Stanley Cup Finals with my Oilers in Game 7, who came back from 3 games down. But if I watch it and they lose, it's gonna hurt me terribly, emotionally badly. I don't know what to do. I just don't. Maybe just go have band practice and pretend like the Oilers aren't in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. But then if they win, I'm going to have not been watching. And that would be worse than watching them lose. After being 40 years of fan. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Maybe we can have band practice and the game can be on one of the TVs or a computer screen or something in the room. And with the sound off, and then I can just keep my eye on it and see how things are going and turn it off if I need to. That's the answer. I think I get Seth to put the game on. Does Seth have cable? Mikey B. Do you know if Seth has cable and if it runs to the TV in the shop where we jam? Because if he can just put it on and we can leave the volume off and I can just like keep checking it once in a while to see if it needs to get turned off. But then if it needs to get turned up, we can stop band practice and I can be like, shut up, you guys, I have to watch this. I think that's the answer. Okay. I think, yeah, okay. He's ridiculous and has all the things. But maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have to watch HGTV out in the shop. Maybe he doesn't need to have Hockey Night in Canada happening out in the shop. I know him. He has no interest in that. Okay. Band practice on Monday, but the game needs to be on, and band practice might get shut down if things are going well. Because I do need to watch them win the Stanley Cup if that's what's going to happen. I don't need to watch them lose the Stanley Cup if that's what's going to happen. By the way, if the people who are still here have not clicked the thumbs up button, please go ahead and do that because you're clearly still enjoying this, at least somewhat. We will start to get it wrapped up because it is 8:54. I still have like 45% battery, but whatever. I have only one extra student tomorrow, so that's cool. Just about midnight here, so I'm heading out soon as well. Well, thanks for checking in and letting us know about the update, my friend Sean. I'm excited for you. I hope that you're excited as well. Are you guys loading up a truck and then flying out and then meeting the truck, or are you driving all the way across? Because that's a fun drive. Fun is hard to say, but like it's a multiple day drive across our country, which is cool. I'm excited and unsure all at the same time. Yeah, conflicting emotions. I get that. Change time zone, so 10 p.m. here now. Have a good night. All right. Yeah, they'll load up and we're going to drive. 11 to 14 days for them to get there. That's too long. Drive faster. God, you people. It's a joke because I was making fun of other Sean for driving slow across Utah. 11 days is a long time. You should drive faster. It should only be a day to go across Manitoba, a day to go across Saskatchewan, a day to go across Alberta, maybe 2 to go across BC because it's windy and stuff. So we're at like 7. You do it in 7. Come on. We'll probably do it in 4 to 5 days. Yeah, moving truck will take 11 days, not us. Oh, okay. Because they're going to stop at every roadside cafe and have the hash browns. 11 days for a moving truck to get from Ottawa to here? I guess they're only legally allowed to drive for still Ottawa to the Manitoba border. Okay, maybe 2 days. Across Manitoba, a day. Across Saskatchewan, a day. Across Alberta, a day. Across BC, 2. That's a maximum 7 days. And then a ferry to get to the island. Like, I'm about to do some painting. Hey, Mikey B is doing painting. Is it the octopus thing still? Are you making a new one? What are you doing? Or is it truck painting? It's probably truck painting. Ottawa to Dryden is 23 hours. Okay, so 3 days across Ontario. Sure. One across Manitoba. One across Saskatchewan. One across. Trucks can drive 13 hours and they need 10 off. It's only good. I mean, it's only 7 across Saskatchewan. Less than that, probably. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to fight about it. You get here when you get here, and I'm happy for you. that's it. So you got a week off? You guys both have a week off to drive across the country? And then you got a week vacation to come up and see the crow's nest and have a visit? I'll be honest, I don't currently have a place for you to stay. If I ever offered that, my apologies, because right now I don't. Because all the rooms in the house are just a fucking gong show. Um, my wife's had 6 months off. Damn, that's slick. She hasn't been working until she starts in late August. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, they get ready for back to school. I'll be staying in Comox. Okay, well let's bring your golf clubs. We'll go play around a golf at Crown Isle. We'll go, yeah. Come up to the shop for a paint night, and then I'll come down to Comox and we'll play around at Crown Isle or Mulligan's or something, and hang out. It'd be fantastic to actually meet you in person. I hope you're not. I was gonna say, I hope you're not weird, but I would like to think I would know that by now. It's like he shows up at the crow's nest and it's like it's just super weird. Like, got to take some trips around the island with the kiddo as well. How old's your kiddo? I got one of those. Maybe they can be friends. Yeah, go see all the Vancouver Island things. Like I said, people don't understand when I say, like, I live in the most beautiful place in the world. Like, oh, you're exaggerating. I am absolutely not. 11. Perfect. Yeah, they can be friends. Boy just turned 14. But he's a young 14, really, in some ways. Right on. Right on, right on, right on. I was good. I was not really stoked for the show tonight, to be honest. Like, I got home and I thought about not doing a show, as sometimes happens. But I was like, I love my people. So I got myself up for it. Coombs, Cathedral Grove, Denman, Hornby. I've still never been to Denman or Hornby. I've done both of those other things, but for hopefully cheaper wood than in Ontario as well. Cheaper garbage wood. I mean, we're surrounded by softwood. You can have some of my Douglas fir if you want. But in terms of like good wood, probably not, my friend. The decent prices on, yeah, good. If you want cheap garbage wood, it's cheap. Everything except pine is wildly expensive here. Yeah, I I don't know that you'll see that big a difference, honestly, in terms of like good wood that you want to work with. You guys probably have cheaper cherry because it comes from northeast. Maybe. I don't know. Our walnut might be a little cheaper than yours because it's coming from the west coast of the states. I don't think you let's temper the expectations on your good wood selection being cheaper. Cherry has been hard to find. Most of what I have is loads of maple and expensive walnut. Yeah, maple isn't too bad. We do have some cool, interesting things like arbutus, um, also known as madrone, which is relatively inexpensive, but I think it's also illegal to take down, so it has to actually fall naturally. But hey, if you like Douglas fir, just pocket change. I will literally give you some of mine. My boy Mikey B will just like save some from the dumpster for you. Red cedar, probably cheaper here than anywhere else, maybe in the world. Western red cedar might be cheaper here than anywhere else in the world. If you like working with wood that you can put your thumbnail print in. Probably be a bit before I have workspace set up. I have to see how much my tool noise my new neighbor will put up with. Yep, in a townhouse. The wife has university access though. So let's talk about whether there's a shop that you can have access to at the University of Victoria. Something you didn't think about, probably. Last week I saw an oak pallet, and the next day I saw a mahogany one. Yeah, Mikey B gave me a pallet a couple years ago that was Meranti. It was almost the entire pallet was Meranti. So that's cool. That's a good thought. I know they have 3D printers as well. They probably have a whole like tech wing at UVic where you can go do 3D printing and CNCing and there's gotta be a wood shop. At the very least, the fine arts department has a wood shop where they have table saws and band saws and things for people to make sculptures and art. I'm sure they do. Red cedar still isn't too cheap here, but relative to the rest of the world, I think it probably is. I don't know what it is per board foot, but I think we're probably cheaper on cedar, especially like not kiln dried, than anywhere else because that's where they get it from. It's just over there and just up there. It has to be cheaper here than other places, but it's still shit wood. Like it's so soft. Like I can literally just like put my thumbnail into it and make a dent. Carpentry shop, but it seems to be a staff and faculty thing. Well, you're staffish. Is it makerspace in Victoria? Yeah, there's probably a couple. Yeah, there's probably a few places in Victoria where you could have access to a full shop. If like your townhouse bothers neighbors, whatever, with your tools. I can't imagine it's going to be difficult for you to find a place to do woodworking in Victoria. And I can get you to buy stuff at Lee Valley and then drive it up. I would honestly, I'd rather drive down. It's a super pretty drive down Island. I used to work in Langford. I got transferred to the Langford newspaper for 6 months, 8 months. Um, and I drove up and down every weekend. Like we had the house here, but I worked down there and I rented a room and I would go down and work for 4 days and then drive back to be with family and whatever. Just driving up and down was like I don't want to say it was the favorite part of my life those days, but it was just being on the highway on Vancouver Island. And I'd stop and I'd play 9 holes of golf and get back in the car and keep driving. Those were good days. Other than the second rent, those were good days. Yeah, especially like Nanaimo to Nanaimo to Victoria. It's a great drive. Go drive that just for fun. Well, but then again, I grew up in Saskatchewan where we would drive 2 hours to go get Subway. So, you know, You're going to a good situation, my friend. The Malahat is really nice. It's steep, and sometimes you get stuck behind, not gonna stereotype, but let's say an elderly fella in an RV that's making things a little awkward for the entire rest of the highway. Um, but yeah, go and down through Goldstream Park. Uh, Fantastically beautiful place. Right at the base of the Malahat before you get to Langford. Fantastic place. Yeah. Anyway, let's get this wrapped up. I guess 3.5 hours is lots for tonight. Now it's just me and Sean talking about how awesome Vancouver Island is. So, yeah, there's some rad passing lanes once you hit the north end of Qualicum into Bowser. Rad passing. Oh, you're talking about the old highway. That's not what I was talking about. Yeah, the old highway between Qualicum and Bowser is maybe, other than what I've heard, my understanding is that the Oregon coast is a fantastic, amazing, pretty drive. Mike's right. Qualicum to Bowser on the Oceanside route, also really, really, really pretty. Yeah, the Inland Island Highway is just the beeline. Like, I need to get someplace. Take the Oceanside route, you Parksville, Qualicum Beach, blah, 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 along the coast. It's rad. It's really fun. You need to stop at the KOA campground, but it's not a KOA campground. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, everybody. Thank you once again for coming by. I am going to finish getting ready for turning class tomorrow. That now has an extra person that I wasn't expecting. Boo, Jeff. No, I'm just kidding. Extra $100. And then on Monday night, I'm going for band practice, but the hockey game has to be on. And I'm going to wear my jersey. And maybe my hat. I have a... Ooh. Okay, hold on. One sec. Let's not wrap it up just quite yet. I don't really like. Don't really. Not really digging the height of it. But that is Ryan Nugent Hopkins. I don't like what I look like in a hat. Really? I mean, I don't like how I look most of the time, but it's just this particular one is too tall. But that's my Ryan Nugent Hopkins autographed Oilers hat. Go Oil. We'll see you guys next week. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye for now. Time for a song. No, that'd be terrible. That'd be terrible right now. No. I did think about it, but not tonight. Maybe next week. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate your appreciation of the music that sometimes happens. All right. Bye, everybody.